This is Becca Stevens, and her story is one for the history books. A Nashville native, Becca's seemingly normal life took a turn after the death of her father, causing her to endure years of subsequent child abuse. A victim of her circumstances, Becca grew from this toxic environment and found herself surrounded by women with similar foundations, built below their surfaces. You see, in the all-time Becca was suffering, she was never really alone. According to the CDC, over 15 million children just like Becca are subject to child abuse. Additionally, on top of 50,000 women in the state of Tennessee alone who currently endure domestic abuse each year. A sad statistic, I know, but a relevant one nonetheless, because this injustice is happening right outside of our classrooms within our city. Demographically, this class is comprised of mostly women, and all of whom are 3 times more likely to undergo trauma such as this in their lifetimes, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. Women all around this town are faced with impossible circumstances every day, myself and many of you included. I've seen firsthand the power of trauma and how having a guiding hand to help you can make a world of difference. Now, I don't tell you these facts to frighten or intimidate you, but rather in the hopes that you get a window into why Becca Stevens is a name worth remembering. Becca saw the world around her here in Nashville and took 5 women into her care after seeing them endure abusive situations. She built them up, supported them, and thus the mission of Thistle Farms was born. Thistle Farms is a nonprofit organization aimed at helping women who've endured sexual violence, trafficking, and addiction in the Nashville area and beyond by providing resources such as housing stipends, personalized therapy, and rehabilitative treatment. Thistle Farms has found a way to heal. Re-entry after escaping an abusive situation is nearly impossible without resources to guide you. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, women and men are equally as likely to form substance abuse issues. However, women are more likely to experience relapse and craving, making reacclimation uniquely challenging for them. Additionally, human trafficking, another thing that Thistle Farms is forced to face, is the second highest growing rate of crime in the United States, second only to drug trafficking. And women in Tennessee are experiencing this at alarming rates. Another issue acknowledged by Thistle Farms is public misunderstanding regarding the women that they help. Leslie Morgan Steiner, a scholar from Harvard, discusses something called the domestic abuse pattern. She mentions in her last step of her TED Talk that over 70% of domestic abuse cases that escalate to murder happen because a woman tried to exit the relationship. Steiner, like Stevens, was fortunate enough to escape her situation. However, so many are not so fortunate. Thistle Farms has found that the social mishandling of women who've come forward regarding their abuse is a powerful deterrent to the success of female survivors. Psychology Today states that myths about domestic violence alter the way that society handles women coming forward regarding their abuse, increasing things such as victim blaming and female-focused doubt. In the year 2019 alone, 245 similar stories came up in Thistle Farms' network alone. And Deborah Lucky, a psychologist at the Philadelphia College of Medicine, found that the effects of trauma on the brain in females are vast as is, but in addition to public perception, intersections of race and identity, and stigmas surrounding mental health, re-entry can be unbearable on your own. These women have been trapped in a perpetual state of hurt. That is, until Thistle Farms found a way to heal. This organization offers amazing rehabilitative services to women in crisis. From a local cafe to handcrafted artisan goods made by the women the network supports itself, they provide goods and services to their community by giving back, whether it be through these goods or through delicious restaurant options. These women are supported by a network full of resources. One of these resources being mental health counseling, which is a privately funded therapy and addiction treatment program, which is provided free of charge to the women without government funding, with the hopes of providing and avoiding potential bias. This gives these women a safe environment to process their traumas and grow. And one of their trademarks is the reentry program, which provides job training and placement to all women who graduate from the program, 75% of whom after 3 years currently hold a full-time employment position. This helps the women be able to take advantage of housing stipends and other optional resources that will help them grow and succeed. and help them avoid the shock of reacclimating alone by giving them a support system of powerful women. Now, in regards to success, it's quite miraculous. In 2020, graduates and residents of the Thistle Farms program raised over $1.6 million that funnels back into helping women in crisis. And over 1,400 women within the Thistle network have been employed in the last calendar year, over 20 countries. Now, in a more micro scale, in regards to donations, over half of the donations are found from individuals, the rest primarily from nonprofit organizations and foundations. These donations are currently being funneled into a scholarship program for the women to help them thrive once they leave this place. Women such as Valerie, a 2020 graduate who spent 45 years of her life struggling with abuse and addiction, and after the loss of her mother, the only woman who ever put a roof over her head. Valerie found herself talking to a graduate of Thistle Farms who helped her find a safe house and receive treatment for her addiction. Now an accomplished and autonomous individual, Valerie has a full-time job, is sober, and has her own apartment. Thistle Farms is an amazing organization that centers itself around supporting women who have been left to their devices for far too long. By uplifting the Nashville area, Thistle Farms has become a staple to the women all around the globe. Valerie is just one of thousands of women whose life will never be the same in the best way. Newly empowered, she, like so many, is capable of achieving more than she ever thought possible, all thanks to the light that Thistle Farms saw in these women all along. Thank you.